Today's video has kindly been sponsored by myself and my web shop, the scalemodelingchannel.shop. If you're in need of any scale modeling paints, 3D printed items, body kits, model kits, or accessories for your builds, feel free to check out the website and help support the channel. Today we're going to start on a new project from IxoCollections. This one has been out for quite a while and it's the Alpine A110. I've built one of these in 1/24 scale a couple of years ago on the channel, so if you're interested in following along and seeing that build, be sure to look through my older videos and check that build series out. It was one of the Tamiya kits. Now this one is going to be built by my friend Kevin. He's going to be helping me out with a lot of these 1/8 scale projects in the future, as that just takes a lot of time out of my hands and I can focus more on the scale modeling side of things. If you've seen one of these 1/8 scale builds on my channel before, these kits are pretty much all pre-painted and simply needs to be clicked, snapped, or screwed together and come in parts every single month. You can choose different types of subscriptions. They are certainly not cheap, but a lot of fun if you're just looking to build and not think too much and have a good time in that kind of way. So as far as detailing and painting goes, there's not really much going to be going on these kinds of builds, or at least this specific one. I do have some planned for the future to go a bit more in depth, change some colors again like I did on the Mustang, but most of these will simply be just assembled. As you can see right here, I'm leaving a lot of the screwing out of the video as it's pretty repetitive and exactly the same thing. Well, that is what repetitive means, so that's why I'm not going to be doing that a lot in this video. And when I say me, I again mean Kevin, as he is assembling this for me. And since most of these kits are pretty straightforward, if you're following along with the instructions, you can achieve pretty identical results as seen in the video. I'm not going to really be doing a lot of voiceover and just enjoy the assembly itself. Now again, if you're interested in one of these kits, do check out the links in the description down below to the IxoCollections website. They have some other kits on offer as well, so do check those out. That's it for me on this one. Let's just see what Kevin can do right here. He's going to start off with the engine, move on to some of the chassis and wheels, and then in the next episode we're going to focus on the interior and probably some exterior work as well, but that is all to come in a matter of weeks or months depending on how quickly he can finish this one, and he's moving at quite a nice pace, so it shouldn't be as long as the usual pace with me, as the last video on the Porsche 917 has been a couple of months ago right now, so I probably should be getting back to that one as well. Or maybe Kevin should do that. Let me know down in the comments what you like to see on these kinds of builds, and if you want to see Kevin do more of this, of course, give him some good suggestions in the comments below, and be nice. The first stage has now been completed, and with first stage I mean the engine. That can then be caged in with some of the chassis components, and some of the other suspension bits can then be put onto this one before we can move on to the front suspension bits and marry that all together. The front and rear suspension components and engine have now been married together, and then the main base plate for the chassis could then be put on as well, which the interior will then be built on top of. But before that can be done, there is still a small amount of detailing that needs to be done for the frunk, and of course also some lighting and wiring to be added here as well. During the initial bench test of the lighting, Kevin did discover that some of the lights were not working. This was quickly traced down to a wire not being connected in the battery box down below, so that was resolved, reconnected, and then the lighting and all of these switches were working again. That is why it is so important to test these lights before you actually put them into the model and have it completely sealed up before discovering one of these problems. So if you're building one of these, do check these lights before you start to do the final assembly so that you don't have to disassemble it again. So for now, simply the battery box and the wiring has been put in place on the chassis, and then later on it will be routed into some of the body work, connecting to some of the lights and all the other clear parts, and also the doors, etc. to be functioning with those switches. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you on the next one.